is intensified by a failing climate and by a heating climate. Every single one. You know, if you're talking about, about human rights, the migrations up from South America have to do with climate.
Hey, it's Jordan. We are live here in Biscayne Boulevard down in Miami, Florida. And there's a kind of a mishmash of rallies here. So you got Green New Deal activists, you got Medicare for All activists, and Get Your Hands Off Venezuela activists. So it's all progressive activists in one place. Right now, some folks are talking about climate change, so we're going to show you that.
Does anybody know the last time we had 400 ppm carbon?
300 million?
No, it was 15 million years ago. It wasn't that long, as the geologist flies. But the sea level was up to the top of the arena. Okay, the sea level was up to the top of the arena, and that's where we are going. That's how high it's going to get, más o menos, before it levels out. So there will be a time when we're not here unless we are swimming, because I just don't think we can make stilts that tall. So, but in general, as things change, one of the critical things, and I can tell you this as a scientist, the day job, is that the slower they change, the better they are for us, for our economy, and for all of the organisms we share the planet with. Slow is good. Slowing it down is good. So our goal is to follow the program of drawdown, which is, lowering the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere and educating girls and eating lower on the food chain. Those are the things that are going to save our planet, and they are within our reach. They are absolutely within our reach. So keep up the good work, and bless every one of you for what you're doing, and keep at it. You give me inspiration, and I hope I give you inspiration. Thanks so much.
All right, let's hear it up for Mayor Stoddard. Yeah. What we really need is we need more politicians that are willing to come out here. We need more folks that are willing to listen to us, especially our youth. And so that's why we have our next speaker, John Paul from Fridays for Future, from the Jen Cleo Institute. If you want to come up here and share us with your story. Give a round for him. Yeah, well, you go for it. If it doesn't work, let me know. Sorry. It's also way more fun with the megaphone.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Hi everyone. I'm John Paul Mejia. I'm 16 years old, and I'm a climate activist here in Miami, Florida, a place that I love and adore. I want to read a little something for you today that came from the heart that I wrote. I was able to write this in 10 minutes because I really was just able to grasp an inch of the feelings that I feel towards this movement and what we were doing together here today. So I'm going to read that to you. I have been empowered by this planet, and it is my moral and sensible duty to defend it in a contemporary time of crisis. I want to thank all my peers and the amazing youth leaders that I've encountered along the way who have inspired me more and more every day to do more and more every day. Especially I want to congratulate and thank Greta Thunberg for inspiring this entire movement, because we are faced with the challenge of and the question of how can one person make a difference? And those two words, Greta Thunberg, have given us the answer, especially when it comes to climate change. I want to thank everyone for joining this opportunity and endeavor to seek justice for this planet. We are currently living in a time of rapid change and shifting paradigms. We also find ourselves in the midst of an ecological crisis in a city among the most impacted. We have grown numb throughout our childhoods of stories of drowning polar bears, melting ice, and clotted lungs. But now, the threat of the climate crisis is knocking on our doors. With rising oceans, raging wildfires, ferocious hurricanes, and impending corpses from over 1 million species of animals, we argue whether a ship is real or not, knowing that it's already sinking. This crisis is something we have to take seriously. Many of our so-called leaders are driven by corporate interests and ultimately money, and I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I'm really not. It's my future. It's all of your futures. It's all of your kids' futures. It's your kids' futures. I am not going to have that dictated by someone else, someone sitting in an office who gets to make these executive decisions all based on monetary value about my life and the life of my kids, or whether I get to have kids or not, or whether I get to live or not, whether I'm going to die of lung cancer or not, whether I can stay in the city I grew up in or not. Are you kidding me?
That ain't right.
No. You know, lots of people ask me, you know, like, you're 16 years old. What are you doing? How do you really think you're going to make an impact? What is the purpose of your walkouts and your strikes and all of this bullshit that you're doing? Let me explain to you. How will you achieve anything if you're 16, if it's not throughout legislation? Yes, I am 16. I cannot vote yet. But this is an issue that I have no patience for. This is not an issue that I have 2 years to wait for. I want to see immediate action. Immediate action now. That's why we're gathered here today. We're gathered here today for a Green New Deal that we want now. And that's coming from a 16-year-old. A 16-year-old. You know, I've gotten so many responses like, oh, when I was 16, I was doing this. Well, yeah, that's the point. It's a 16-year-old because it's really embarrassing when leaders start acting like children and quote-unquote children like me start acting like the real leaders here. I'm not having any of this. Every day, we grow increasingly distracted by raging societal conflict, and although such issues are of paramount importance, absolutely everyone here that believes in them, this is also one of those issues, if not the most important and pressing issue. This is an issue that cannot wait. This walkout, this strike, is a warning to those lawmakers, representatives, and other people who put forth profit over the planet. I want to see them act now. I call for you to turn your attention to this. Because ultimately, this isn't an issue of left or right, gay or straight, female, male, black, white. This is not an issue of any division. This is an issue that transcends the political spectrum. We are dealing with our planet here. I don't care if you disagree with me, you're under the same atmosphere as I am. And there are people here that are making the decisions for both you and me, whether you like to believe it or not. That's it. That's what we're gathered here today for. It's not about, oh, like, you are this, you are that, you support this, I don't know about that. No. This is a common issue that we have to hold beyond political differences. We have to hold beyond racial difference. We have to hold beyond class reductionism. Absolutely everything that you may hold against this issue has to be overcome for us to start working on it in the first place. And that's what the Green New Deal is here to do. I think that this political divisiveness of calling it radical, I don't think it's radical enough. I think what we're asking here today is for these lawmakers who have accolades and credibilities beyond the eye's reach. I want them to actually invest in the future. Invest in our futures. Invest in your own futures. That's what we're here to do today. So that's my message upon all of you. To believe in this Green New Deal, this 14-page mere resolution of goals we want to address for the future. Because I, as a 16-year-old, should not have to be telling anyone this. But I have loved every painstaking memo and legislation that I've had to read, every moment that I've been pissed off, because let me tell you something, it has empowered me. It has empowered the hell out of me to care about my own future, about the future of all of my peers sitting over there, of the futures of all of you. Because that's what this relies on. So I call forth for a Green New Deal and all of us to support it. Thank you very much.
Make some noise for John Paul. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like that is something that doesn't get mentioned enough, is that we are here because it's only going to get worse and worse. In the future, we're going to have to start thinking, you know, when we have kids and they have to interview us for their high school paper, asking, you know, when they were talking about building walls, when they were talking about sea level rise, when we were talking about, you know, this sort of extinction level event, when we were talking about 100,000 people dying every single year, the question that we're going to be asked in 30 years is, what did you do? And that's what we all need to take upon ourselves. We can't just be, an attendee. We can't just be someone that likes something on Facebook. We all have to be involved. We all really have to get in there, get our hands dirty, get on some elbow grease, and get involved. So if you are interested in any of this afterwards, please hit up one of the people in our orange and yellow vest, and we'd love to talk to you more about leadership roles, because this stuff, hopefully we try and make it look easy, but we really need more folks, and it really is that easy. So if I can get Didier Ortiz from Dream Defenders to come up. So yeah, give it a hand for Dream Defenders.
Hello, everybody. More so than climate action, I'm interested in climate justice. Because climate justice is economic justice. Because climate justice is racial justice. Because climate justice lays the blame for our catastrophe on the actual guilty party. Those are the corporations that buy our politicians. Tonight we're going to be listening to the first round of debates. And let me tell you something. Those that don't take climate change seriously, don't take them seriously. Right now in City Hall, the community of Little Haiti is fighting for their community. They're fighting against gentrification. They're fighting for climate justice. They're fighting for you and me. We all know that Miami is the most at-risk city in the world for sea level rise. You know, one of the highest altitude places in Miami? Little Haiti. So the rich, let's call them for what they are, the corporations, they want Little Haiti. But we say that Little Haiti is for the people of Little Haiti. Little Haiti is for Haitians. So racial justice, economic justice is what we need to work for. The Dream Defenders has a document called the Freedom Papers. One of those planks is freedom from war, freedom from environmental catastrophe, freedom from violence. These are the things that connect our movement. I invite all of you to look up the Dream Defenders, to join with us if you believe in true change. And you know what? In this election, Donald Trump wants to make it a question about socialism. He wants to make it a question about radical changes. Well, you know what? We need a radical change. Nobody here can afford to be afraid of radical change. Nobody here can afford to not name the guilty parties. Nobody here can afford to support the quote-unquote lesser evil. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Give it up for Dream Defenders. So we have one of our friends here from Miami DSA that has been doing a lot of wonderful work. I think one of them is called Mutual Mondays, right? But I think they can talk more about that. If you want to come over here. But we need this action now. We need to support these organizations. Let's hear from them. So yeah, give it up for Miami DSA and introduce yourself.
Sure. Thank you, everybody. Hi, everybody. My name is Matias. I'm here representing Miami DSA, the local chapter of Democratic Socialists of America. I'm sure y'all have heard about us, whether it be Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, folks backing the Green New Deal, abolishing ICE, or our recent big win in Queens for the District Attorney, Tiffany Caban. Woo! So, I'm really happy to be here, stand in solidarity with so many of these groups here. It is so important. A lot of what we were talking about, or what folks are talking about, are climate justice, but I also want to extend it to, we need to end the forever wars. One of the biggest polluters is the U.S. military, imperialism. This country is unfortunately an empire, and we need to destroy it from within. Now, folks, we need to stand in solidarity with so many different communities here in Miami. Little Haiti, as Didier was saying, is under attack with the Magic City development. We need to fight gentrification at any point, at any step of the way. If you see here exactly where we are in Miami, you see these high-rises, these luxury high-rises. Oftentimes, they are filled, they're empty. Who lives here? These are people parking their capital, keeping their riches here. We need to understand that if we want a Miami for the people, we need to make it for the people. So what does Miami DSA call for? We call for the democratic ownership, the common ownership of the means and modes of production. We need a democracy that is actually for the people, not for the 1% or the rich or the capitalist class. We need to actually get this thing going. A lot of us are really excited about different candidates. Obviously, DSA is really excited about Bernie, but what I will like to say is, whether or not you are someone who is, of the anti-capitalist or type of ideology. It's all right. We need unity. If we want to get these platforms together, it's going to take a fight, whether it be Green New Deal, abolishing ICE, Medicare for all. These are going to be very tough legislative measures. Not only do we need to fight it in the halls of Congress, we need to fight it here in the streets. We need to fight it everywhere. Talk to your friends, make comrades. Let's get this thing going. We have a world to win. Cheers.
Thank you. So we only have a couple of people left. Give it up for Angel. Ron Hill. You got that?
How's it going, folks? My name is Angel Montalvo. I was born in this city. I live in this city. My friends and family are dying in this city. We don't have health care. We don't have justice. This is real. This is real. And we need to take this seriously. Because if we don't, what's going to end up happening is that we are going to die. Our children and our grandchildren are going to die. Let that sink in. This is not a joke. This is not a trend for social media. Media people, listen up. We are here to fight. And we will fight and we will win because we have no choice.
Yeah, that's right.
I love this city. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make sure this city is here for the people and not just for the developers, because that's what we're going to need for justice. Yeah. We are poor and we are hungry. And again, we are dying. So please, wake up. What can we do to wake up? Every single person who can hear this, whether you are in the media, whether you're a student in high school, whether you're a woman, whatever your intersection is, we need justice. Right. So please, please, wake up and let's pay attention to what's going on. Wake up and stand up and fight for your rights. And when you're going out there and you're rallying, don't just quietly represent yourself. Use your voice. You have a voice. While you have a voice, you should use it. While you can lift up your hands, lift them up for your brothers and sisters who cannot speak for themselves. And I am serious about this. Please, we have to do this. I want to end on just a more tender note. We need to build solidarity. We need to take care of each other because the capitalistic system only wants us to produce. We need to be regenerative. We need to support each other and build communities because that is the only way that we are going to be able to do this. Because we're isolated and that's what they want. They want us to be afraid and they want us to be isolated, and we cannot allow that to happen. Thank you.
So yeah, we need to come together. We need everyone's voice to be as loud as possible today. We really need to send a message, and like you mentioned, we need to be here. We need to be a little bit louder for the folks that couldn't make it here. We need to be a little bit louder for the kids that are, 30 minutes away in the Homestead Detention Center. We need to be a little bit louder for that working class mom who can barely afford her rent, who can't make it here today. We need to be louder for the folks that are afraid of being deported or coming into conflicts with the Trump supporters, which there's only like 5 of over there, but still. So we need to be louder for the folks that couldn't make it and the folks that we want to build solidarity with. So we have a speaker, Nicole, who is from the Fridays for Future. One of the amazing high schoolers that's kicking ass every Friday. So yeah, take it away.
Thank you guys so much for being here. I'd like to thank specifically them 4 over there who have been here since 9 in the morning. They have not left. These people also represent Friday for Future, where we meet every Friday in front of Miami City Hall and Weston City Hall in Broward. These people are the people creating the future. We are asking for 100% renewable goals from our cities. We are asking for a climate emergency to be declared. This will guide action from our local municipalities so that it can be scaled to the federal level. It starts at the bottom. I'm from Broward. Currently, the Everglades are at risk. Cantor LLC is currently trying to drill oil in the Everglades. No way!
No.
There is currently legislation within the House that is trying to be passed in the Senate, and it has not yet been passed. We must protect our river of grass. It filters all of our water. If we do not have water, then guess who's going to be affected? The people who do not have who cannot afford to pay for clean water. We need to protect our aquifers, and we need to protect it from not only from drilling in the Everglades, but the fire that happened in the Everglades that burned acres. And currently all of that ash is sitting over Broward County. The smell is disturbing, and all of the pollution within the air could cause air pollution and contamination problems. But the Everglades is not our only task. We need to get the federal level to support a Green New Deal. But that is just the start. Like Elizabeth Warren said last night, meat needs to be put on those bones. We need to pass aggressive policies to tax or put a fee on the root of carbon. We need to attack the root causes. Whether you believe it or not, the current capitalist system, if you could call it that, even with the homogenization of tons of corporations, that is not real capitalism, and this form of capitalism is causing the destruction of human rights within our city.
Get it right.
I was just having a conversation with someone earlier in the afternoon. She supports local eating. I asked her what else she was doing. She said, I've gotten my parents to get off of buying palm oil. And I said, that's it? She was with me in the car when she came to drop me off, but she didn't stay. We need people to come to these events to show solidarity, as our last speaker said. This solidarity will show to our representatives, show to our politicians that we care. The more people that show up means that there will be more representation at the political level. Show up or you're not doing enough.
That's right. All right, thank you so much. Yeah, I feel like, was it Angela Davis said that, radical just means getting things at the root. Radical doesn't mean that you're just some far left person. It means addressing things at the root causes instead of just trying to appease and deal with things and their effects. And I feel like that's really important. And it also comes to the head with, there's a difference between charity and justice. And this is what the farm workers teach. This is what Dolores Huerta taught me in California, which is that charity sees something in someone that's in trouble, suffering, and they ask, what can I do to help immediately? Can I give you some food? But justice is about asking them, why is this happening? And how can I stop it from happening to other people? We're talking about systemic change here. So I want to introduce Philip. He's from the Bernie campaign. He's going to be our last speaker. So let's give it up for the Bernie campaign and Philip.
How y'all doing? I'm happy to be here. I want to add, I've organized here in Miami for the last 7 years as one of the leaders of the Dream Defenders. I see some of my comrades out here. So I'm very proud. This is actually my first day as a surrogate for the Bernie campaign. So I'm very, very excited. You know what? When I was walking up and when I was trying to figure out, what was really on my heart, I'm not speaking off of no talking points. A quote from one of my favorite rappers, Kendrick Lamar, came to mind. Okay, and so I want y'all to do something for me. He said in the song, he said, everybody put 2 fingers in the sky. He said, the sky is falling. The wind is calling. Stand for something or die in the morning. And say high power, high power. And so when I listen to that song and when I hear that, I think about what it's like to live in this time as we watch the effects of a capitalist system meant to destroy us since its inception. As we watch the effects of an economic system put forth by an empire that is determined to destroy our planet and everything in it. And what it must feel like to betray our children, to betray our grandchildren, by not standing up and saying that we don't want to live in a world that will not exist. Let us make no misconceptions. The earth will survive. But will we be able to survive on it? Every generation we are all handed an heirloom. It is our planet, it is our water, it is the air that we breathe. And we have done a huge disservice by standing idly by as corporations rape and pillage our planet and our communities. And so I'm honored to be alive in a time where a movement is brewing. A movement that has come from every corner of this earth and corner of this world. We are part of a long history. This is not a new movement. We stand on the shoulders of giants who have stood up and said, you will not build your pipeline here. You will not frack here. You will not mine here. You will not destroy the very essence of our life here. And I'm proud to stand not only with you all, but to stand with the candidate that actually believes that the climate is getting warmer. I'm proud to stand with a climate that's not new to this, he's true to this. Somebody who didn't just learn about global warming, but somebody who is intent and has been here since the very beginning and said we must protect our planet because it is our greatest gift to future generations. And so I'm proud to stand here not only with you all, not out of any faux solidarity, but because this planet is ours too, right? This land is ours too. And we have a right and a responsibility, and it is our duty, right? We are living in a time where we can change the entire world from the core. And we can elect a president who actually not only believes in this cause to his very bones, but will do everything in his power to make sure that we get a Green New Deal, right? Not just because it is politically fashionable, right? Not just because we built a movement and pushed him to do it, but because this person has been on the front lines since the beginning. When you look at pictures of him, they in black and white. When you look at pictures of other candidates, it's in full HD. They just got there. When you look at pictures of him, he had black hair, right? He looked completely different because he's been there. And so I'm proud to be here in solidarity as we stand at the forefront of a crisis to save our world for future generations. As waters rise, our people are rising. And I'm proud to be here and stand with you all. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So if we can get one last round of applause for all of our speakers here. I feel like they did a damn good job. All right, so we're going to start moving, but I just got something to announce. We got plenty of chances for speakers on the megaphones. Hit up someone with the megaphone if you want to speak. We got a bunch of banners over there that we help with people carrying. So if you can all go out there, go over there, grab a sign if you haven't already. But I feel like the thing to start off with is that when our Earth is under attack, what do we do? Fight back. When our Earth is under attack, louder, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When our Earth is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When our communities are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. Thank you. All right, everyone, let's start moving. Let's start moving.
Talk to him. Appreciate you being here. Thanks, man. Real shit.
Yeah, no, that's Dr. Webb. So that was great.
The sign? Young girl. You talk to the people?
Yeah, this sign needs to go to someone.
Hey, folks, that was some Green New Deal leaders in the Miami, Florida area. Yeah, there's a mix of Green New Deal, Medicare for all, hands off Venezuela, a lot of different activists all in one, trying to find that young high school girl who was so powerful.
Oh, I just saw her. She had the long sign. She's in the front.
Yeah, yeah. Woo! So share this, press the share button, smash the like button. Hey there. Hey, can I ask you a question? Sure. You are very powerful. When did you start getting involved in this? And what's the obstacles here in Miami? Is the Democratic leadership fighting you guys hard?
So I got involved last summer with Cleo. Hold on.
We're following you, guys.
We're following you. Live internet.
We're going to be waiting for everybody to come together, okay?
The sign says, declare climate emergency. Obviously.
Waiting for everybody else.
Yeah, yeah.
So go ahead, talk to me.
Yeah. What was your name again?
Nicole.
And talk to me. How'd you get involved in this, and what are the obstacles here locally?
So I got involved with Gen Cleo, and from getting involved with Gen Cleo, I found out about a mayor group. So we've been meeting with the mayor and protesting in front of the mayor every Friday. I haven't been in Miami recently because we started striking in front of Weston City Hall, but now we're going to start meeting with the mayor, and we're going to ask him to have a 100% renewable goal.
We're at the mercy here of some photographers and traffic, but that's how we roll. It's all good.
Yeah, I almost said something. Then I was like, we're in that city, because I was about to say, we're doing the interview. You hold on, but
yeah, it's a common thing. So, and there's oh, you got Miss Coral Gables is here too. I guess she's the local model or fashion woman.
I saw her, the tall lady?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So they're saying, what do you want? Justice, all those things. I'll get her after. Ty, you were speaking so passionately. Talk to me about the local Miami here. What are you guys up against? Because I know that the real estate developers are big here,
Right.
and I know that the Democratic Party here isn't exactly the most progressive.
No, it's definitely not the most progressive. Well, the Dream Defenders, they were, founded after the murder of Trayvon Martin by, what's his name, George Zimmerman. But right now we focus on communities. We're located in Miami, Broward County, in St. Petersburg. Myself, I'm in Dream Defenders because they're focused on where I grew up, which is in Broward County in Sistrunk Boulevard. Here in Miami, they're based in Apalaca and Little Haiti. And so Dream Defenders is fighting right now in City Hall in Coconut Grove to make sure that two projects don't get passed. One that would gentrify Little Haiti and the other one that would gentrify Edgewater. I'll tell you a personal story. This is my own personal story. I moved to this country when I was 6 years old. My uncle...
Where'd you move from?
From Peru. My uncle had a house in Edgewater. One night that house went up in flames. And now it's a huge condo development. And so the reality is that gentrification targets immigrants, people of color, proletarians, workers, and we believe that all of these struggles are linked together.
It's interesting. We've been to Flint a lot. We've been to other communities with water poisoning, arsenic, lead, all this stuff. And it just so happens it's usually poor communities, minority communities. Right. Seems like they dump all the toxic shit, for lack of a better word, on your backyard. I don't hear that many candidates talking about the environmental justice aspect.
Right.
You were talking about that. Expand on that a little bit.
Well, I think it's up to us to build organization at the grassroots level, because right now maybe it's not politically correct, because real political correctness is not being respectful to people of color, right? Real political correctness is not being able to talk about the military-industrial complex, the capitalist decay in this country, right? And so if we're not going to be politically correct here in the grassroots level, we're going to make sure that we talk about that here. And maybe it'll go up there. Our priority is to build the people's power.
And let me ask you about climate change in particular. I mean, some reports have Miami underwater in 7 to 10 years. But we see more expansion, we see more, and not a lot of action from the local level. Do the rich people think they have a boat to escape Miami when that happens? Or?
So here's the thing, right? A lot of those apartments up there are empty. They're empty because they're used for money laundering. That's the reality. This city, and we have to be honest, right? There's a lot of drug trafficking, there's a lot of mafia in Miami. Right, and it's all connected to the U.S. government and whatnot.
No, the U.S. government's corrupt?
Yeah,
are you sure about that?
Yeah, it was the CIA and all that. So a lot of these people, they own apartments here and they drive up the prices, but they don't live here. This is just a money laundering scheme.
And last question, talk about, obviously you have the detention center a half hour from Miami, where President Trump and the terrible things he's doing. Has that been in the news much? Is there any organizing around this? Because we hear about it at the border, but we don't hear about a lot of the other detention centers all around the country.
Well, definitely. There's groups like Cosecha, which are based in Homestead, which are working to unite immigrants into an action bloc that can strike, that can wage economic battle against, again, the capitalists. Join it back to the capitalists, to be real.
So I take it you're down with the socialism.
Sure. Look, I'm down with the socialism. I'm down with the worker, with a world that workers, own the means of production, to be honest with you. I think that climate change has proved to us that a system driven on greed and on irrational search for growth, right, is not sustainable. And so I'm done with the political correctness. We only have a decade to work towards changing this, and after that, I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, Joe Biden originally said he was for a middle ground on climate change.
Okay.
Maybe we'll be under the ground before his middle ground.
No, yeah, his middle ground, it's just a way to appease his donors. Right? He said that if he's elected, nothing will fundamentally change. Nobody's quality of life would change.
He's talking to Wall Street donors saying that.
Exactly. He's talking to Wall Street donors, but he says it in a broad way, right? So if you're poor, you're going to stay poor under Biden. If you're struggling in the lower middle class, you're going to stay struggling in the lower middle class, if not becoming poor yourself under Biden.
What's your name, bro?
My name is Didier Ortiz.
Spell that.
D as in dog, I as in Ivan, D as in dog, I as in Ivan, E as in emergency, R as in room. Last name Ortiz, O-R-T-I-Z.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man.
I mean, I wish more of these people were in Congress or in the positions of power, but hey, you got to organize before you can get there. So if you're looking up, you got nice folks with Tax the Rich, which I like. You got another Bernie gal over here. We got a lot of activists here. Let's try to get up as close as we can. Oh, they're saying, what do we want? Climate justice now. And basically they want action now. So I'm going to try to get up closer to the front. Woo! Trying not to run too hard because I just had back surgery and don't want another one. I take it this isn't your first march in your life.
No, it isn't.
What do you think about Miami here? It seems like they're not taking the climate crisis that seriously because look at all these developments still going up.
I believe they aren't taking it very seriously, and we need to let them know that they need to. And these politicians who are trying to get elected need to know that there are things out there that have to change if we're going to survive.
What do you think about the presidential candidates? A lot of them are jumping onto this Green New Deal, but they weren't there 5-10 years ago.
I don't really see any presidential candidate that I'm supporting at this point.
Okay. Thank you.
That was interesting. I would have asked her, like, what are you looking for that you don't see in any of the candidates? I thought that would have been, because you know what I'm saying? If she don't have anybody, if she got 20 people, I know they all kind of saying the same things, but I wonder what it is that they're lacking. That would be,
I'll ask next time.
Oh, no, I wasn't telling you that. I said I was wondering. No, I guess I did say, yeah, I wish you would have asked. I was just wondering what she was saying.
Yeah.
Obviously, you didn't get it.
No.
Change the culture, not the climate. Change the culture, not the climate.
That's your question? Hey, so it looks like Miami, by all reports, could be underwater in 7 to 10 years, but the local Democratic Party here doesn't seem to be doing much. Are they listening to organizers? What do you think needs to be done?
I mean, I don't think they're listening to organizers. I think we need equitable housing to make sure that those that are the most marginalized have somewhere safe to be, because they don't have the ability to leave and just move somewhere else. No, I don't think the Democratic Party is doing what it needs to do.
Right. And what's interesting to me is, I mean, you're now seeing wildfires. You're seeing wildfires not just in California, but started in the Everglades here. So it's right in front of you, yet they're not doing anything. Do you see this basically as they're just scared to upset their donors?
Yeah, basically. I mean, they make money off of the status quo, and so they want things to remain the same for as long as possible.
Look at that, we're status quo.
I like that. I've never heard of you all. But yeah, there's not incentive to change, really. And so that's what we're demanding.
And do you see, obviously, a lot of Latinos in Miami, African Americans, Cubans, obviously, are in the organizing movement? Are more people coming together around this? Are more people becoming aware?
Yeah, definitely. Like this is a march actually that we're shouting about climate change, but it was also a Medicare for all march, and we have folks advocating for reproductive justice, for, equal rights for all folks. And so we're definitely all coming together. Yeah.
And it's interesting because I saw Bernie go on Fox News of all places, and that audience, they were down with Medicare for all. They raised their hands, but we're told he's a radical commie and that it's just not possible, despite the polls saying the overwhelming majority of people want it.
I mean, what he is advocating for would help so many walks of life on this in this country. And so, I mean, a lot of the folks that are against socialism are the folks that are in dire need of, you know, Medicare for all and, you know, climate justice, all of the things Bernie is advocating for.
And lastly, do you, as for Medicare for all, it seems to me that the people against it most are the Democratic establishment. Of course, Republicans have been against it, but Barack Obama, one of his top aides the other day, was on stage saying, that's never going to happen, this and that. Basically, it seems to me that it's so that the money could keep rolling into them.
For sure. Yeah, I agree. I'm a socialist. That's why I support Bernie Sanders. So yeah, I can't speak for the Democratic Party.
Who the hell can? What's your name?
Christine Montero.
Thank you, Christine.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Ty.
No Trump! No KKK! No fascist USA!
Okay.
Look at that.
So, you see some Trump people over there. It looks like they didn't want to be left out of the debate. Oh, this reminds me of Indiana, where I was. This reminds me of a Trump rally in Indiana. They had all the bikes. So they're chanting "No Trump, no fascist, USA." Yeah, let's go talk to them. So we got, I think, the Lady Liberty over here. How you guys doing? Who's the coop? Me. Who's you? I like the suspenders.
Global One News.
What's that?
Global One News.
You're Global One News?
Yes.
What's that?
We are the Good News Network.
Oh, is that a real thing, or you're just being funny?
We're the biggest thing in the world that no one knows about.
So let me ask you, what's the Trump people out here? What's the biggest thing? What do you think he could provide that these candidates are not providing on the Democratic side?
I think it's kind of obvious, okay?
I don't think so. Go ahead.
Well, to the conservatives out here, the guy's doing his job. He got elected to do a job. I think the economy is roaring. People are getting employed. He cares more about climate change than half the guys you're talking about.
Since he's been peeling back all of President Obama's climate change, that's caring about climate change?
I would have killed it too, no doubt about it.
So you don't see the Everglades on fire and all these hurricanes and things like that?
But
that's not climate change?
Well, there is a climate change, but it's a natural climate change.
What is a natural climate change?
That the world and the earth heats and cools as it is. It doesn't mean that, I mean, obviously we're contributing a bit.
A bit? Because it seems like there's unprecedented storms. Puerto Rico got hit by 2 hurricanes in 2 weeks. Unprecedented. California's on fire.
But that doesn't mean that actually, climate change affected it all. Climate change affects things all the time, every day. We realize that.
What news outlet do you watch most?
I'm sorry?
What's your go-to news outlet?
The Global One News and the GNN.
Okay, I've never heard of that.
Well, we're one of the biggest digital media companies in the world no one's heard about.
Interesting.
We have 16 billion impressions, about 100 million viewers a week, all digital, and it's all global.
When you say that the economy is roaring, I mean, you have reports that most people can't afford a $400 emergency. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck. And in those Midwest cities, I mean, I've been there, those plants have not reopened. So what exactly are you talking about that the economy is roaring? Because the corporations, they're doing well under Trump. The rich people that got the tax cut, they're doing pretty well, but most people only got a few $100 in tax relief.
Well, that's not true. They've got
that is true. I read the tax plan.
$1,400 because I'm an analyst and an investment banker, and trust me, they got $1,400 back. More importantly, though, they got confidence in the economy. All right, the people feel strong that we're going places that we never did for the last 8 years.
But where are we going? Most people can't afford a $400 emergency, and most people work. It is true.
That's fake news, guys. I'm telling you.
It's fake news? Okay. So, because I travel the country, and most people work 2 or 3 jobs. Most people
do not work 2 or 3 jobs.
Okay. Do you travel? Have you seen out there
all
what
over
people?
the world. I'm a global news guy.
Okay. Because the Midwest, in particular, the states he won, I mean, some of these cities look apocalyptic. You have closed down storefronts, closed down plants, closed down YMCA's. And you're telling me that the economy's booming.
Let me tell you what's going to happen.
You tell me what's going to happen.
Okay? We're going to try and exceed what Ronald Reagan did in the second term. Ronald Reagan had 49 states.
Bust the unions.
Well, when Reagan was there, the economy was good. Every time we've had a Democrat...
What do you mean? You see the income inequality chart? It started under Reagan. All that income inequality started in 1980. The 1%, that chart, is that fake news too? The red line going up to the 1%.
People to achieve their dreams, or do you want them to be in welfare state?
Who are you talking about is achieving their dreams if all the money is hoarding to 1%?
Everybody that's got the opportunity to get a job, to work, to build a business...
Who's got the opportunity to do that,
everybody.
sir? Hey, do you know that everybody has the opportunity to get a job in America? Did you know that? Hey, you watching right now, does everybody have an opportunity to get a job? I have my own business that I have put myself in debt to do. But
Los Angeles, the homeless rate just went up 16% in Los Angeles.
Unprecedented.
That's another Democratic mayor. Look what they did at Los Angeles. It used to be a beautiful city. I did security in the Olympics in '84. It was masterful.
No, but he's talking about the statement you made about being able to have a job. That specifically, that's not happening.
Unemployment is
wait.
the lowest in 50 years.
Well, let me ask you a question, sir. Let me ask you a question, sir, because you're with the Global News Network, is it? Yeah. So you're saying the unemployment is at the lowest level ever.
For blacks, Hispanic, Chinese.
But the poverty level in this country is near 50. The poverty level in this country is near 50%. You have
talk to my
30.
partner, Ben Irish too.
I'll talk to both of you. That's fine. I also don't know how the hell you're wearing this. I mean, Jesus, it's hot
I
out.
just flew in tonight from New York. I came all the way here from up north. And, I just came as I was dressed, came as I went.
United States Supreme Court. Interesting.
Yes, I had a case in the United States.
Incredible, intelligent, pro se litigant in the United States.
So let's litigate.
Against all these big, corrupt, multi-billion-dollar corporations that like to masquerade.
You mean all the ones that Trump gave tax cuts to and deregulation, those corrupt corporations?
I mean, all the ones that the Clintons helped fund.
Oh, it's always the Clintons. Listen, I don't like the Clintons, but let's talk about Donald Trump. Don't change the subject. No. Don't change the subject. Don't change the subject. Donald Trump gave companies, corporations, multi-billion-dollar conglomerates 84% of the tax cuts. 84% of the tax cuts. Is that democracy or is that corporate socialism?
No, it is democracy.
84% to corporations.
Who pays your salary? How
me.
Come you have a job?
This is my company.
Okay, you formed a company, right? So if you have to pay obscene amounts of taxes,
I didn't get that
how
tax
are you
cut.
Gonna make anything? Let me tell you.
Wait. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about taxes, sir. This is a demand economy. The consumer. Wait.
Hey, wait, hold on. No, it's okay. We could have a talk. We could talk about how I pay 40% taxes every week. It kills me. I see it in my check, and I have to work 2 jobs just to be able to support my family so all of these idiots can drink beer and smoke dope, okay? So I know about paying taxes. But
you're paying for them to smoke dope?
Yeah, exactly, because I come from New York, and when I go and I
Clearly.
cash my check, I see all these people that are on the secret line at the cash check.
What are you talking about?
To cash in their food stamps, to cash in their EBT.
So you're against welfare. You're not against corporate. You're not against corporate welfare. You're down with the corporate welfare, just not the welfare.
Absolutely.
Oh, you like the corporate? Okay, good. So you're down with welfare. You're down with corporate socialism.
I love corporate welfare because it provides Americans with jobs. I do think we should.
Where are the jobs? 40% of America lives in poverty, sir.
You know where they are? Wait, I know where they are. Go get one and you'll know.
Oh, what an economic plan! What an economic plan! We thought, what an economic plan! 40. So wait. Talk to the Wait a minute. Talk to the homeless. Wait. Let's talk. Do you know what a thing called gentrification is?
Gentrification? Of course I know what it means. Your Democrat friends, right?
There's a lot of Republican governors. Okay, let me give you an example. Let me give you. Wait.
The next ambassador from the United States to Dominican Republic to clean up the nonsense. I'm a crisis management guy on top of other things. He knows the system.
Exactly what the Dominican Republic needs. Now, let me ask you, sir. So you're saying everybody could just get a job?
I think all these Democrats, all these snakes deep-stated all these embassies in all these countries.
We're talking over each other. I don't. Wait. I'm not a fan of the Democratic Party. Barack Obama, Bill Clinton. They didn't do a good job economically. I'm a fan
Are you a
fan of
communist?
truth.
Is he a communist?
No.
He must.
What I am. Wait. No. What I am is somebody that look.
Are you a communist?
See, you do
Are you a communist?
what you're doing is what Fox News does.
confusing you?
You're just putting
Am I
words
making
out
you
there.
nervous?
You're putting
Am I
words.
making you nervous?
No. You're just putting words out into the universe, thinking they make sense.
are
You
you
sound
a
like
communist,
so.
yes or no?
No, I'm not a communist.
What are you?
You ever hear of something called a progressive? We believe.
Progressive, what does that mean? There's progressive garbage men that clean the streets progressively in this country.
Are there? Okay. So let me explain. Are you weren't alive in the 1950s and 60s, right?
Were you alive in the 1950s
No, but
and 60s?
I've read. You might want to try that. So
You're
look.
telling me I haven't read.
No, look. So in the 1950s and 60s, it was the actual, by the data, strongest economic period in American history. Do you know what was going on in the 1950s and 60s?
Well, I wasn't there and you weren't either, but why don't you enlighten me since you seem to know so much?
I'm
Did you
going
have that
to.
first-hand
I'm going to. So there were strong
Let me
labor.
ask you, but
Well,
what's
you just
happening
told me to
tomorrow?
enlighten you,
What's
and then
happening
you don't want me to
tomorrow?
enlighten you.
Well, you weren't there, so how would you enlighten me, sir?
Well, a lot of historians weren't actually alive during that period.
Fake too.
Oh. So wait. The main takeaway from the Trump people, the Democrats are awful, which for the most part they have a little bit of a point. He said that welfare for the corporations are good, which is fine. At least they're admitting it. They're down with the corporate welfare. They're down with the corporate socialism. And his answer to the exploding homelessness population, the exploding poverty problem is just fucking get a job. Just get a job.
Disappointed. I honestly thought he had a good argument. That's why I wanted you guys to talk. Like,
Sorry to raise my voice to the audience, but I mean, when you hear stupidity, you got to call it out. And the problem is, this is kind of the Fox News playbook. Whenever you point out something, well, Hillary. Listen, I'm not a fan of Hillary Clinton, but she's out in the woods. There's no point now. Hillary Clinton's gone. So we're talking Donald Trump. And the problem with these people is they're voting against their own interests. They're voting. So he said most people got $1,400 from the tax cuts. That's not true. That is not true. If you're in the audience, tell me right now if you got $1,400 from the tax cuts from Trump. Absolutely not. But I'll tell you what did happen from the tax cuts from Trump. All of the major corporations in America, they made hundreds of millions of dollars and they bought back their stocks. It's called stock buybacks. This is what happened under George W. Bush. They give the rich and the corporations money, and then they buy back their stocks. They don't invest in anything. I can tell you, my parents are small business owners. They own a jewelry store. I said to them, what would help you hire more people? A tax cut or more customers? They said more customers. Well, I can tell you, a tax cut isn't going to give them more customers. A raise in pay will give them more customers. If you raise the minimum wage, they will have more customers. If you have government jobs to invest in the people, you will have more customers. The tax cuts, most of the people pay off debt. Most of the people pay off debt or put it under their bed. This is the truth. Yeah, I'd love to interview him too. Can I ask you a question, sir?
Absolutely.
So, what's your name?
Ted Masters.
Thanks for talking to me, Ted.
Turn around so I can
I'd rather be an American than a Democrat. I assume you're saying Democrats aren't Americans.
No, the Democrats just want socialism. That's not American.
Okay. So
they want free everything. That's not American.
Are you on Social Security?
In America,
Are you on Social Security?
I am, but I work a full-time business.
No, I know, but you're aware Social Security is a socialist program.
Well, that's beside the point. You
just said you don't want socialism.
That's fine. I don't want socialism across the board.
So are you going to go give up your Social Security tomorrow?
I would give up my Social Security if I had to.
Okay. I'm just making the point. You're saying you don't want socialism, but you're enjoying it. No. You are on a socialist program.
Wait a second. No, I'm not, because I paid into Social Security for 50 years before I started drawing off of it.
Right, but it's redistribution. Young people right now,
I earned it.
Okay. So, but you agree it's a socialist program. The Veterans Administration is a socialist program. The Veterans Health Care.
You know what? The veterans deserve everything they get. They're the ones that stood up and fought for you and I so we can stand here and talk freely.
We're in agreement. I'm just saying we already have socialist programs that you're...
Well, that's fine. A few of them are fine, but not across the board.
Okay, so which ones are you afraid of?
I've been in the health insurance business for 30 years. We cannot afford socialized medicine.
Can we afford endless war?
We cannot afford single payer health insurance.
Can we afford endless war? We spent $6 trillion in Iraq and Afghanistan. Were you out here talking about that?
President Trump isn't looking for that either. He's trying to pull everything back.
What are you talking about? The debt has exploded under Trump. The debt is up double.
You know what? That might be true, but he's also created far more business than anybody in history, and as the business grows, the business taxes will pay that off.
But
you got to understand.
No. Let's just talk the facts, though.
It takes a free economy to pay off debt.
Right, but if what he's doing is mostly deregulation and tax cuts for wealthier people, which that's what the tax cuts were for,
that's people who create business and jobs for you.
So why is it that such a large portion of America work minimum wage jobs to a little over minimum wage? Wait, and you have an exploding income inequality in this country. If the wealthy people are creating the jobs, why are so many people living paycheck to paycheck?
That's a has-been.
Has-beens are living paycheck to paycheck?
Yes, because it's coming around the other way. It's taken time. But we have more people working today than we have had in history. We've got fewer people on welfare and fewer people creating.
We don't have fewer people on welfare than in history.
We don't. Where have you been looking at your statistics?
The Bureau of Labor and Statistics.
Yeah, well, I think you're screwed up.
Well, I could read, so. No, but what I'm asking you, because the unemployment is low, a lot of people have left the workforce, so that brings down the unemployment rate. The real unemployment.
Coming back. A lot of people are coming back.
And where are you getting that from?
That's coming from statistics.
Because if you look at the states he won, I'm talking Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Ohio. He said he's going to bring these plants back.
And they're coming back.
No, they're not. I've been there in the last 2 years. The plants are still closed. This Foxconn plant he talked about in Wisconsin, that they got huge tax subsidies from Wisconsin for Foxconn. They're not actually creating those jobs anymore. They're switching what Foxconn is going to be away from making specialized glass for TVs to research and development. So he's not opening these. General Motors just laid off 15,000 people. He told the people in Lordstown, Ohio, don't move. So what are you talking about that he's brought back all these jobs?
Sometimes businesses have to retool in order to make things work.
Retool meaning send the jobs offshore and do stock buybacks?
About sending jobs offshore.
But his tax cut, the businesses have bought back stock buybacks. That's what they did with the tax cut. These are facts. This has been reported. With the money from the tax cuts, they bought back their stock to drive up the shares for investors.
That's fine. Then they can continue on to build other business and create jobs. It takes time. You can't create jobs literally overnight. It takes time for a corporation to rehire people and get things going.
So what are the 15,000 people supposed to do that were laid off by General Motors? How much time should they wait? Or the workers at Burger King, McDonald's that are working 40 hours a week there, another job, and barely could put a roof over their head. Are they has-beens?
At least they have a job. At least they have a job. Things are better than it used to be. That's the bottom line.
When did it? What did it used to be like?
It's gotten better over the last 3 years.
Okay. And it's better how?
There's more jobs to go around to people. I've got a lot of people in the ghetto community that I happen to live next to.
The ghetto community
in Boynton Beach. That
the ghetto community? What is that?
In Boynton Beach.
A poor black community?
Okay. It's a big area, and there's more people there.
Fairly racist. It's a racist comment, but go ahead.
You know what? I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Okay, because you said something racist.
You've been swallowing the soup. So goodbye.
Sorry, you made a racist comment, and I called you on it. Okay, the ghetto community is peace and love. That's what you meant.
It's peace and love, and it's been a lot of unopportunity, and the people with unopportunity have been coming back to work. Okay.
Thank you. Good night, sir. So unopportunity, which not a word, and the ghetto community is not racist. But this is what you hear from Trump supporters. They don't actually have specifics of how the economy is better. He's talking, it just takes time. Well, I'll tell you, since 1980, we've had a lot of time. And by the way, this isn't only a Trump thing. This is a Democrat thing, too, because Bill Clinton screwed up the economy, too, and gave huge handouts to rich people. Barack Obama did not, I know Ty's going to be mad at me, but Barack Obama did not change the income inequality curve. He extended the Bush tax cuts. He didn't put bankers in jail. He did not go to bat for progressive legislation. People make excuses for him, but that's the truth. He was surrounded by Wall Street. in his administration. He got the most amount of money from Wall Street fat cats during the 2008 campaign. So this isn't only a Trump thing. But right now we're talking 2019 and Trump is the president. These people, might be, good. I don't know where they're getting the news, but they're living in an alternate reality. Yeah, they're living in an alternate reality. And the problem is, you're not going to change these people's minds with Joe Biden. And by the way, Bernie Sanders is not going to change that guy's mind either. That guy is just lost. And he's racist, too. I mean, I don't know if you thought the ghetto was... I thought that's a racist comment, personally. So, and racists don't like to be called out as racist, but I called them out. So the bottom line is, the only way to actually counteract these delusions is with strong, bold, progressive ideas. And that's why I think, not because I support Bernie personally, but strategically, the only one who can convincingly actually expose that Trump is a fake populist and pick off maybe 5 to 10% of his voters, which is what it's going to take. The Democratic nominee is going to have to win some Trump voters. Polling shows Bernie does very well in those Midwest states with blue-collar people without college degrees. That's who Trump got. And I don't think that guy probably has a high school degree, to be honest with you.
Just to point out, you're 3-0.
I'm 3-0? What do you mean?
Every Trump guy that came and talked to you end up walking off.
That's fine.
You know what I'm saying? You're 3-0 like you're winning.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to, what I'm trying to do here is simple. We're here not for Trump people, but when I see a bunch of Trump people across the street, I can't resist. I can't help myself. But the point is, the only way the Democrats can win. Oh, now they're talking about. Oh, now it's the Jesus people.
This is why people don't even want to do religion. It's because of these people right here.
Right. So, bottom line, this is America here. You got the Jesus freaks, the Trump freaks, and everybody else. All right, so we're going to power down for a few minutes.
The funny thing about the Jesus freaks are so freaky, the Trump people don't even want nothing to do with them. Like, the churches should try to do something to them, like, y'all messing up our money.
You know what's interesting? The first thing the guy said to me was, we can't have socialism. And then when I pointed out, are you on Social Security, sir? All right, he's like, well, we could have some socialism.
Whatever works for him, that's all it's about. But it has nothing to do with policy. It has nothing to do with statistics. It has everything to do with his bigotry. It has nothing to do with it. That's it. Because when it comes to what you have, because right is right and wrong is wrong.
Wow, we got 560 people watching right now. I didn't even know that. So look at it here. How you doing, sir?
How's it going?
Good. So, another Trump guy. Oh, can I talk to you for a minute?
Sure.
That's quite the shirt. That's quite the shirt. You got Trump on the tank. He actually, I could see Trump going down the street in a tank. What do you like about Trump?
It depends what's going on with him right now.
What do you like so much about Trump?
Commander in Chief.
Okay. Are you happy that he didn't bomb Iran?
No, because I'm a Marine.
So you want more war?
Not necessarily, just proportional. But I think he's got a plan.
Do you buy? I mean, there's a history of the United States. I know you were in the Marines, but there's a history of intelligence agencies just making stuff up. Do you actually believe that Iran was hitting the tankers? And Iran says that this drone was actually in Iran's sovereign territory.
So let's take that one by one, right? So do you think this video right now you're taking of me is fake?
No, it's on right now.
Oh, okay. So just like the Japanese tankers were bombed and it was on video, this video is going on right now?
But the owner of that tanker said it wasn't Iran.
And you believe that? When we have video,
that's what he said.
To the contrary.
I mean, I was told we have weapons of mass destruction. That there was nothing behind that.
What country doesn't have weapons of mass destruction right now?
No, I was told Iraq had weapons of mass destruction and was behind 9/11.
Did you see them not have weapons of mass destruction?
That's a double negative. You can't prove it. You can't prove a negative. No, I didn't see them not have, but we don't go to war based on what someone might have.
You didn't see. Well, you're playing Monday morning quarterback.
No, I'm just playing. Hundreds of thousands of people died.
At that moment in time, all the intel agencies, right, were in consensus that all all of them said that they did have weapons of mass destruction. Now you are playing Monday morning quarterback and saying that they didn't, a whole bunch of years later.
But they did come back and say that they were lying. Like, that's what they said. They came back and said, oh, it was all a lie. No, this is when, remember we got a
media like you guys.
No, they apologized. Our government apologized.
You guys should be on that side of the street.
No, wait. Let's get back.
Free ice cream.
Oh no, I don't like Biden. So let me get. No, but I want to give my audience.
We don't like.
I want to give my. Wait. No, but I want to give my audience an idea. That's fine. I want to get back to Trump though. So you
wants to give free ice cream right here, right now, and that's the whole idea behind the whole thing. Everything's free. Somebody's got to pay for it. There's nothing free in this world except for death and taxes.
So you don't have a problem with us paying endlessly for war. You don't ask how we're going to pay for that. It's only how we're going to pay for health care, how we're going to pay for education. It just seems like, and I respect your service, no question about it, but no one has a problem asking how are we going to pay for the wars? How are we going to pay for Trump's tax cuts to Goldman Sachs?
You're asking several questions and you're not letting me answer in between. So one at a time, right? The fact that we have to go to war, and that is a last resort, but the fact that we have to go to war sometimes in our history, it has proven that we've been the winners of those wars.
But you're saying have to go to war. We just talked about the fact that we didn't have to go to war with Iraq.
If we didn't go to war in World War II, then the French, the English, and a whole bunch of other countries would have still been speaking German.
So you're comparing Iraq to World War II?
And was there not terrorists in Iraq? And
9/11 was 19 people from Saudi Arabia.
Finish my answer. In your opinion, it says that you don't agree that there was weapons of mass destruction.
It's not my opinion. This is facts. There was not. Yes, the United Nations.
There was proof that they were taking weapons of mass destruction out of Iraq while the war was being prosecuted.
Where was that proof? Where is this proof?
Video all over online. Look for it.
On Alex Jones? Where is this proof? On Alex Jones? On Breitbart?
You start asking questions. You should educate yourself.
I'm going to educate myself. Wait, we're having a good talk here. All right. So there's proof. Wait a minute. I just want to go through the rundown. And by the way, for the 560 of you watching right now, if you're not a Status Quo member, this is what you're paying for. This wonderful educational videos. So become a Status Quo member right now. Statusquo.com/join. We are 10, count them, 10 members away from 500. We've only been alive. We've only been a thing for a year. We got 490 paying members through our website and 342 patrons. So together, we got 815. The more paying members we have, the more in the field reporting we could do. We've already rabble-roused at the debate today. We're covering the good stuff, Medicare for all, Green New Deal, the detention centers we're going to go cover tomorrow, and now we're going to talk to the Trump people. Unless you want to rely on CNN to cover these issues or cover the campaign, help us with $5 a month, $10 a month. You could also become an annual member at $179 annually. Statusquo.com/join. We came down here even though we were denied credentials to cover the debate, because our model is not access to the candidates. Our model is not access to the DNC. If that were the case, we'd be sucking up and doing favors for them like every other corporate journalist. Our model is access to the people. That's not a bumper sticker. That is truly it. When Ty and I go to cover these things, 9 times out of 10, there's no other national media at them. So that's why we're out here. We really hope you'll consider becoming a member. Again, statusquo.com/ I'm with her. She said it's absolute fucking ridiculous. Statusquo.com/join. And we want to do much more of this. We want to do much more of this on the campaign trail. And a lot of these videos, trust me, can go viral, but we got to have the money to go out. So statusquo.com/join, $5 a month or $10 a month or $179 annually. So let me get back to it. We talked to 4 Trump people. One guy told me he doesn't like. One guy told me he don't like socialism, but he agreed he is a socialist because he's on Social Security. And this guy, I didn't ask him, but he probably gets veterans insurance, which is also socialist. And by the way, I respect his service. That's all good and all. That's the disclaimer. But this guy is literally saying he was saying, do you have evidence they didn't? Yeah. That's like saying, do you have evidence that he didn't beat his wife? Yeah. No. You have to have evidence to go to war. For God's sakes, man. War is supposed to be a last resort.
You should ask him does he feel being a Marine, knowing that so many of your fellow Marines died based on a lie.
The problem is, you got to listen to what he said. He said sometimes you have to go to war. So he's under the illusion that the United States only goes to war when it has to. The United States creates war because it has to, because the United States is run on a war economy. Watch Oliver Stone, Untold History of the United States. And by the way, I actually agree that after 9/11, we should have responded. The right response, in my view, was a limited response to Afghanistan in particular. Oh, you're back. Thank you. Oh, we got. I already talked to him. I already talked to him. Wait a minute. No. Wait. So you already bolted. You already bolted.
Look. No, hold on. Look. Based on, let's be honest. Based on both your conversations, you both walked off. We was just trying to have a conversation.
Now you're brave, but you both walked off when I was trying to ask you questions.
You're lecturing us on something that happened in the 1950s when you weren't even an afterthought in a hotel room, nonetheless.
What would you like to talk about?
What would I like to talk about? I'd like to talk about why we have to pay
free ice cream
40% in taxes every week, so these morons over here can drink beer and smoke dope.
Let me ask you guys something. Yeah, why?
There's nothing free in this world.
Hey, let me ask you, how come we're not drug testing? How come we're not drug testing welfare recipients in this country?
Hey, I agree with you. Why aren't we drug testing Goldman Sachs? Why aren't we drug testing Raytheon? The true welfare. Why aren't we drug testing the corporations, sir? Why are we drug testing? Wait a minute. I'm aggressive. Wait a minute. You want to drug test the ice cream. You want to drug test the guys at the ice cream stand, but you don't want to drug test Raytheon or Goldman Sachs.
Are they really selling ice cream, or are they selling like a medical marijuana?
You're assuming that he's on welfare. Is that what you're saying?
No, he said welfare.
He just said those people are smoking dope.
They were. He didn't say that they were.
I'm trying to understand something. Because you haven't answered one question yet for me, right? Okay. Are you on welfare?
No.
Okay, but do you pay taxes?
Yes.
Okay, how much of your paycheck do you pay in taxes every week?
Probably 15 to 20%, maybe a little more.
No, you don't pay 15 to 20%. You pay more like 35 to 45% of your taxes every week. That's what you pay, okay? And the reason you're paying it.
Have you seen my tax stub?
That's what everyone pays, okay? I don't even think
that's not what everybody. But that's not what everybody pays. But that's not what everybody pays. You know how much Amazon paid? 0. Do you know how much Goldman Sachs pays? Next to 0.
Because they're smart? Are you chastising them?
They're smart.
They're smart. Accountants, unlike you and me?
That's not smart. That's called corrupt. That's not smart.
Bent out of shape.
Wait a minute.
When you get pissed off,
you guys walked away. I'm not pissed off at all.
You're not making any points.
But wait a minute. You told me that the problem is your tax money is going to pay for people to smoke dope and whatever. Right. So that's Republican Ronald Reagan bullshit. So let's get to the
Ronald Reagan bullshit.
Absolutely.
I see it with my own 2 eyes. Maybe we shouldn't curse on TV. That's not appropriate, okay? All right, fine. Well, no, listen, maybe we don't really have to, okay? But I can
I'm waiting for your point on the booming economy. I want to hear about this booming economy.
Booming economy depends on you. It means you got to roll up your sleeves. It means you got to go out there. You got to get a job, okay? You got to try hard. And if you can't get a job, you have to start
get a job at all these places with robots and automated things.
Like a really intelligent person, maybe you could service a lot.
For Latinos, lowest unemployment rate for African Americans.
Latinos and African Americans love their work at Burger King, McDonald's. No, those are the facts. Most
the Democrats are becoming the racists.
It's in an interview, but he keeps on interrupting me.
But you're stating things that aren't factual. Do you think
it slipped? He let it slip. I mean, could you imagine that? Wow.
Okay.
I'm not really
wait.
Lowest unemployment rate for Asian Americans.
African Americans that are very powerful positions right now.
Say that again?
I know a lot of African Americans are in very powerful positions.
Yeah,
they're more than what I do, or maybe what he earns
listen,
a lot.
Don't let this man race bait you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a race baiter. Yeah.
Race baiter. That's all he's
That's
doing.
what.
Let's.
We brought a. No one brought up race. We talked to you for 30 minutes and no race. Come on now. Talk statistics, dog. We're talking to...
You know what?
He said that all the black and Hispanic people work in...
Wait, can I ask you guys a question? Hey, wait. There, I want to be fair here. I want to be fair. So, wait. You're talking about... Yeah, wait.
Do you respect your mother? Do you respect your mother, your daughter, your sister, your family? Huh?
Absolutely.
Trump say was like, I grab female body.
Let me ask you something, right? Have you ever touched a female body? I mean, you're kind of young, right? But have you ever grabbed a female body? I could
against her will.
This is the thing.
Against her.
That you haven't proven that. He never said.
He said I grab women by the pussy.
You're a liar.
He said it on tape.
It's not against her will. People grab other people once in a while. Haven't you? Well, maybe you haven't had a woman.
Can I just ask you a question, sir? Can I ask you a question? If a man says I grab her. Wait a minute. Do you say?
Okay.
If a man says I grab her by the pussy,
what?
You saying that's not against her will?
Let me explain something to you. My woman.
He said I grab him by the pussy. They don't even.
My woman came to me the other night. She sat on the couch next to me and she said,
"Lucky woman."
She said, "Hey Benjamin, what you doing over there? Come grab my pussy. Have a nice night, pal."
So, in a matter of the last half hour, I've been told by a bald white guy that it's fine to grab women by the genitals without their permission. I've been told by an old guy that socialism is tyranny, but his socialism, Social Security, is fine. I've been told by a Marine that there was weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, but they moved it out. And do I have evidence there wasn't? And I forget what the fourth guy said. So I just want to explain how this works, because this ain't my first rodeo. I did this a lot in 2016. I have the therapy bills to prove it. I went to 40 Trump rallies, and I'm having PTSD from this nonsense. So these people just said that, oh, African-American unemployment is at its lowest, and Latino unemployment is its lowest, and all you should do is go get a job. Well, guess what? A lot of the fast food workers in America... Oh, you're back. How you doing? Ooh, is that a Cuban cigar?
I refuse to answer the question.
Oh, okay. What's your cert? Free. Okay, sign the petition. So, what are you feeling? I've been told socialism is bad unless they have it. Somebody said socialism is bad, but he likes his Social Security, which is socialism. So, what is the tyranny that's going to come with health care for all, education for all, and better climate change policies?
All right, the way you want to package socialism, you could say it's democratic socialism, but you know what? Socialism at the end of the day is still communism's kissing cousin. So what you have in there is the Democratic Nazi convention. Oh, but it's not the same kind of Nazi. It's democratic.
We're not talking about the Democratic Party. What we're talking about...
I am.
But Trump is for socialism, just for corporations.
Who says? For corporations? No, he's for America.
Wait a minute.
Wait,
who pays?
Wait a minute.
Who pays the tax cuts for the corporations? Who pays the tax cuts for the corporations?
What taxes? Listen, you're probably making more money now than you were before, aren't you?
No.
No, then I don't know. Maybe you got to rework on your resume or something there, because everybody's doing a lot better. The economy is doing a lot better. Yeah. Unemployment is the lowest.
So
these are facts.
40% of America in poverty, majority living paycheck to paycheck. About 27 million without health care. That's doing better.
Where are you getting this fuzzy math from? Or you're choosing and picking your math?
Where are you getting your math from? Fox News or Breitbart?
I don't watch TV.
So where are you getting your numbers from?
I get my numbers online and I search it up and I take everything with a grain of salt and I research it.
So let me tell you, and I mean that
you're going to tell me.
No, I mean this respectfully. In the last 2 years, in the last 3 years, I've been to Pennsylvania, Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, Illinois. I've been to Washington State. I've been to California. I've been to Washington, D.C. I've been to Texas. I've been to Alabama. I've been to a lot of places, sir. So I have eyes. He's been with me for a lot. Let me tell you, the strong trend in America is low-wage work, freelance work without benefits, and people living paycheck to paycheck. That is what you're calling the booming economy. There's another trend, and then I'll let you respond, exploding homelessness, because people are being priced out of their communities, because in Miami, for example, the politicians are giving real estate developers free reign to do whatever the hell they want, because real estate developers are buying off the politicians. That's not a talking point, that's the fact. So you're looking at an unemployment number that is low, in large part because a lot of people have stopped looking for work. In between all of this is automation, where robots and machines are replacing people. So the booming economy you're talking about, most people watching don't feel it. So tell me what I'm missing.
All right, I understand what you're saying. You touched up on a lot of points there. Kind of hit me with a machine gun.
You mean facts? Go ahead.
Machine gun of mouth. All right.
No, that's data and facts.
Wait, I thought you were going to let me speak. I let you speak, and you went off, right? Okay. I agree with you that in a lot of different places, there's a lot of the economy is not very stable, but it's coming around. Manufacturing jobs are coming back. A lot of that stuff was, I hate to tell you, because maybe it was, your favorite, the Muslim son of a commie whore that you really have such love for.
The Muslim son? Who are you talking about?
You don't know?
The Muslim son of a commie whore?
Yeah. Oh, you don't know who that is? The Muslim son of a commie whore, number 44. You don't know.
So,
okay.
sir, can I tell you? You're a racist bigot. You're a racist bigot.
I'm calling it out. The truth is it? Wait.
I don't. Excuse me. I don't like President Obama's policies, but he was born in Hawaii. This is. Wait a minute.
Of a Muslim, right? And
so
his
what?
mother was
So
a
what?
Whore,
you know
like
that.
The rest of his family.
So is the Muslim that Donald Trump has in his administration? Is he a commie whore too?
Wait! Don't get upset and your panties in a bunch because I spoke bad about Obama. But he's gone.
You're speaking poorly about Muslims. You're speaking poorly about Muslims because you're a bigot. Go on. You're a bigot.
You know what I am? I'm not you.
Right, you're a bigot, and I'm not.
And you're not letting me speak either, because as I'm getting my points across, and then you didn't like what I was saying.
Now, it's not that I don't like. I'm just pointing out that you're a bigot.
Going back to what we were talking about, and I know you're going to edit the hell out of this, and that's fine.
We're live. We're live. I can't edit it.
Live and in Technicolor here in Miami.
A racist. Go ahead.
I can call you. I'm a racist. Okay, because I'm to the right of Karl Marx. Because that's what you guys.
No. You just called the first black president. You just called the first black president a commie Muslim.
How is he racist when our friends are black?
You call your black friends Muslim commie whores?
He said the truth. What is your problem? Because you love Obama? Is that the problem? You love Obama. The first black president, just because he was the first black president, doesn't mean he was a good president.
You know what? I really wanted him to do well. Honestly, I really wanted him to do well. We in a way, I felt we needed something like that to happen. We needed to rock the whole foundation of the whole political thing. I didn't vote for him, mind you.
His best friend is an Afro-Cuban. Why would you even...
Listen. Wait.
My best friend, my friends. Wait.
Him a bigot. That's messed up, bro.
You know,
because he is one. That's what I'm saying.
No. Mind you.
I was not a bigot.
I was backing Mayra Jolie, who is an immigration attorney here in Miami, has her own office. Okay, mind you, she is a black female from Dominican Republic. Okay, and is a friend of mine. My girlfriend was her campaign manager, and you're gonna call me a racist. But okay, if that's the narrative you want to follow, because I don't partake to the circus of the Democratic Party.
You're just a birther. That's fine. Go ahead. You're a birther. That's what you were referring to.
I can call you a lot of things, but I'm not. Yeah.
Don't let him bait you. Don't let him bait you.
You made the comment. I didn't make the comment.
So going back to what we were saying, the economy is coming back. Trump did find the magic wand, and there is. Yeah.
It's the magic wand.
Oh,
you agree with me that you agree with me on all the things I said.
No, not all the things you said. I agreed on certain things where in some areas the economy is depressed because companies had left America. Look at Detroit. Detroit was a roaring economy with lots of car manufacturing, lots of stuff going on. And what they started going out because, oh, free trade.
Sir, I've been to Detroit in the last 6 months. The plants aren't coming back. General Motors laid off 15,000 people. President Trump told the people during 2016, don't move out of Lordstown, Ohio. I'm going to keep GM there. The plants are not coming back. This is not reality, what you're saying. I have seen it. I have seen it.
Let me ask you something. Who are you going for?
Bernie Sanders.
That's it. I got nothing to say here.
Good.
That's socialism, and socialism doesn't go with me.
How old are you? I want to ask.
Not say.
Are you on Social Security?
Call Mike. That's none of your business.
Are you on Social Security or not?
That's none of your business.
Do you masturbate once a day or twice a day?
Yeah, once a week. But are you on Social Security?
So you whack off once a week?
So you are on Social Security because you don't want to answer the question, which is a socialist program. That's what I thought. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay. So he is on Social Security, which is a socialist program.
Bullshit. I'm in no Social Security, fool. So why are you accusing me of being on something I am not?
Wait a minute.
Wait. No.
Well, you don't want to answer the. You don't want to
Why are you
answer
going
the
on
question.
camera lying? Why are you going on camera lying?
You don't want to answer the question. You don't want to answer the question. You don't want to answer the question. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. You're not.
I don't care.
That's exactly what
It's fine.
Just say no. It's fun. Obviously.
Okay. So that's fine.
Hey, I'm gonna bring you
So.
one of my black friends.
Oh, please do.
Hey, it's like
Pinochet did nothing wrong. You can vote in socialism, but you got to take it out with bullets.
Fantastic. So basically,
We gonna go now.
No.
You're not gonna interview my friend?
Sure, I will.
No, I mean
Sure.
our friend.
No, I'd be happy to. What's your name?
Is black. We are not racist. So he says.
Hey,
that we're racist.
I got news for you. I got news for you. Wait a minute.
Race baiting.
Wait a minute. You're aware that having a black friend doesn't mean you're not racist. You're aware of that, right?
Color is not in my spectrum, bro.
How you doing? Why do you tell me about what you like about President Trump?
What I like about. Don't bring him over here. Bring him and say what he said.
Okay.
He is a race baiter.
Blacks for Trump is supporting President Trump.
Hey.
Well, see, like Malcolm X said that any black man that votes for a Democrat is a traitor to his race. Yahweh ben Yahweh said the same thing. So did Elijah Muhammad. Martin Luther King was a Republican. The Black Lives Matter leader even said the same thing. So any black man that's out here supporting the Democrats is an absolute distracted.
I don't like the establishment Democrats. I'm asking, what has President Trump done for you?
Oh, you didn't ask me that at first. You said, well, what did I like?
I said, what do you like about Trump?
Oh, yeah, right. But what I like about Trump is, first, he got elected. That's the first thing I like about him. Second thing I like about him is that he's getting ready to put Hillary and all of the bastards that put 1.2 million black men in jail themselves for being murderous traitors to America and the black man.
In fairness, that was Bill Clinton, but yeah, you're right about that.
Bill Clinton and Hillary, she was the one that said black people are predators, but they don't see that. She was the one that said she used to have black slaves in Arkansas in the governor's mansion. I got on camera saying that with 40 black men standing behind her with jail outfits on as if there was no white people in jail in Arkansas.
Do you think President Trump has been strong on race?
He's been beautiful on race because you know.
Hear the Central Park Five?
Yeah.
That he put a full-page ad out?
You want me to answer? Oh, here's my answer to that. Obama got in, he let every East Indian, Arab, and Pakistani who sold drugs to the black men who were selling drugs over here in America. He let them go, and they were also murdering black people. He let them out of Gitmo. He didn't let one black man out like Larry Hoover, Big Meech, Tim Brown, Rick Brownlee. He didn't let none of them out. He didn't let Boom out. He didn't let out none of them. Oh, Trump gets in, and what does he do? He passes the Prison Reform Act. Now Bo Diddley, one of the biggest drug dealers, is out. Now you got Boom, which is my brother. He's out. I go to the halfway house, and all of the brothers who was in jail that Trump let out, the CEO said, hey, man, that's the brother that helped Trump get y'all out. And they all said, Blacks for Trump, yeah.
Are you talking about the First Step Back?
No, the Prison Reform Act, sir. Yeah, or First Step Back, whatever you.
I think that was a good thing.
Yeah, that is a good thing. Where was Obama on that? Hillary and Trump, and Hillary and Bill Clinton put 1.2.
We agree, but I was asking what.
You said what's good about that? You said what's good about that?
He talked about the Central Park 5. No, listen to the question that he said.
I was talking about.
You're talking that Trump is not racist, and we're talking about what he put out and what he's doing now.
All of my brothers who got out of jail who did not deserve to be there. That's what I'm talking about.
What about the Central Park 5?
2 million black men in jail. That's what I'm against. I'm answering the question the way I answer it. The Central Park 5, I really didn't study them or find out what they did or didn't do, so I cannot respond to that. But I can respond to the fact that he let out black men out of jail when that bastard Obama put us in jail and kept us there. You know, so I don't want to hear all of that. He is nothing but a traitor to his race. And any Obama, I want me to get it clear. Obama, cross out with him. I don't like.
But we agree. But we agree about that. Okay. So all right. So let's.
You support who? The Democrat?
Who do I support? I support Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders, who's a Cherokee Indian who had us in slavery, of course.
Bernie Sanders is a Cherokee Indian?
Yes, he is. He says he is. His wife is, but that ain't the point.
What are you talking about?
The point I'm making is...
No, you're talking about Elizabeth Warren.
No, Bernie Sanders, I'm talking about him, sir. You just don't know
about Elizabeth Warren.
Okay, but Bernie Sanders is a communist and a socialist, which means give all our money to them when they're supposed to be paying tribute to America. Our brothers are on the street.
You don't mind corporate wealth. You don't mind the corporate welfare.
People are on the street who are Vietnam vets, black men, but then they want to let all of them in from other countries to get in and get free housing.
Why do you think your black friends are on the street?
Because of Obama and Hillary Clinton.
Could it have anything to do with Republicans and Democrats selling the jobs offshore? Could it have anything to do with them giving corporations subsidies, tax cuts, and